What if I told you that these 3 videos brought me hundreds of qualified leads, multiple 5 figures in deals, and I predicted it before I even posted them? Most people measure content success by views, but views don't pay you. The right client in your DM does. And yet so many female coaches out there are copying viral hooks and modeling what worked for someone else without realizing that that's exactly why their content isn't converting. Because content was never about hooks or strategies, it was all about clarity. When you post without that understanding, your content just exists. It fills a feed, it checks a box, and it burns you out, but it doesn't build anything. It doesn't compound, it doesn't convert, and it doesn't make you money. So in this video, I'll be reverse engineering and breaking down the psychology I use behind these 3 reels to get all of these results so that you can understand content to the T and do the same for your personal brand. Now, before I get into the actual breakdown, I want you to understand something important. A good video isn't about one that gets a million views, but a good video is one that attracts the exact client that you built your offer for and moves her closer to working with you. And that means every single element you show has a job. The message signals who you are and who you're for. The way you show up visually, the words that you use, the vocabulary that you use, the hook, the belief that you're challenging, all of this is either calling in your dream client or repelling her, yet most coaches think that it's only about the actual hook. Most people only think about the hook, but I think about the entire messaging the video is sending from start to finish and how it also positions me as a coach. And I'm not just saying this to try and teach you something, but this is something that I had to learn the hard way. I had multiple videos hit over 500,000 views, and on the surface, that looks like a win, right? Because people were sharing them, people were saving them. I got a ton of comments. But when I tell you the amount of unqualified leads I got and how much this damaged my audience, it is not even funny. I had girls who loved the content but had no intention of investing. They had no budget, no urgency, and no alignment with what I actually offered. And the reason this happened is because I copied a viral creator and I didn't realize that even though, yes, this piece of content did good for this creator, they're in a whole different market. They're targeting different clients that have a different offer. The video worked for his audience and got him a ton of sales, but not with my audience, because you can go viral in someone else's world and be completely invisible in your own. And this is the trap that I see almost every coach fall into, where they try to build a brand without understanding branding in the first place and how to make videos that perform but also bring you clients for your business and grow your brand. So I want to show you what it truly looks like when you understand what it means to be intentional with your content. So let's start off with this first reel. So this is a reel that I posted where I called my mom about how I made $7,000 in a day. Right now it's sitting at around 600,000 something views, and it got a ton of engagement. So let's break it down.
Hello คุยได้ไหมได้ค่ะลูกแต่ว่าแม่ยุ่งนะแม่มีคนไข้ว่าไงคะแม่คิดสิว่าหนูได้มากี่บาทวันนี้จาก business วันนี้500 ยูโร500แค่นี้หรอน้อยจังนี่มันเยอะแล้วนะจริงๆวันนี้หนูได้มา $7,000ไม่เชื่อทำไมไม่เชื่อล่ะจะเป็นไปได้ยังไงไม่เชื่อเลยจริงหรออย่ามาพูดเล่นไม่แม่หนูพูดจริงให้หนูส่งไปกี่บาทไม่ต้องหนูทำได้หนูก็เก็บไว้ใช้เองแม่ดูแลตัวเองได้
Man, this video still makes me emotional, but man, that's crazy. But anyways, the reason why this video did well, I'm gonna break it down for you. It seemed wholesome on the outside, and it seems like something that, yes, you would engage with, but behind it, there is such a deeper strategy that I was able to implement in this video to make sure that it actually aligned with my brand and focused on following the funnel of my business. So I'll show you exactly what I mean by this. The first thing you'll see when you come across this video is the text hook, right? POV, you get your mom's reaction to you having a $7,000 day at 17. $7,000 day and the age 17 is an instant shock factor to the average person watching this. And this is what actually gets them to stay, because they want to know, first of all, is this even true? What my mom's reaction was like, and they want to know, How? So just by coming across this video, not just watching it to its entirety, you're already curious and you already have an emotion that is tempting you to watch the entire video. And I didn't just post this video by cropping it out and having this random format. This was something that I knew was proven to work because of my mentor who did the same thing for his results. He posted this exact same video where he called his mom about him making $150,000 at 19, right? You have the same instant shock factor, and you can see that this exact format has been proven to work before, which is why I implemented that for my own video. But I didn't just post that video for the sake of posting it and for the sake of having a wholesome video on my feed, but it has a super intentional role in terms of how it grows my business. This video that I posted specifically is what I like to call and label as an attraction video, meaning that it's designed to show a specific outcome and to show that I'm living my ideal client's dream. The entire concept of an attraction video is to be able to bring in a bunch of new followers, and you do that by showing the outcome that they desire. Because when you post an attraction video like this, it sparks curiosity. As they watch the video and they see me living their dream, it gets them inspired and it sparks aspiration as well. Meaning that by watching this video, they already feel an emotion through it, making them emotionally connected to me. And the fact that this video attracts them, it pulls them in. They get satisfied and inspired by the outcome that I'm living, but then they're like, wait, how? That's the entire role of this video. It's to create curiosity for a mass amount of people and have them tap into my page where they eventually try to figure out how I got into this point. And I didn't just post a video of me calling my mom just because I wanted to. Yes, it was an amazing moment, but I picked this moment to showcase specifically because it taps into my ideal client's specific desires. If I were to show a Lamborghini in my content, I would attract the wrong people who only care about money. But I know my clients, and I know that my clients truly care more about values, morals, taking care of their family, being a good person, being a good daughter. And that's why I'm so intentional with the outcome that I show. I understand that by showing this specific outcome, it doesn't just appeal to a lot of people who want to take care of their family, but it also taps into the specific desire of my client. Because they see this video and they see that I'm able to live their dream outcome, they see themselves in me. And that's also where the actual text hook comes in. The fact that I put POV and I talked about this is their moment, and I get them to imagine if this was their life. The fact that I use POV and I use the words you, it gets them to imagine what it would be like if this were them. Also, by seeing the way that I talk to my mom, they see the relationship I have with my mom. Therefore, they like me and they know that I'm genuine. And I'm also gonna move towards the end because that also has a really deep intention behind it.
Could not be more proud. Man, that is such a crazy feeling. All I want to focus on right now is to just get started working with my clients, get them the best results ever. This money means nothing to me, and it's all a reflection of what I do.
Did you notice that? I went from talking about this outcome that my business has allowed me to get to, and towards the end of the video, I talk specifically about my business, which will appeal to business owners specifically, because towards the end of the video, as I niche down into the way that I approach business and how money means nothing to me, it shows the kind of business owner that I am, and it shows the fact that I care more about delivering and serving others than to keep the money for myself, which separates me from the average business coach out there who really just flexes their money. And it aligns with my brand of having these specific morals and these specific values that my ideal client relates to. So the second video we'll be breaking down is this video that I made about investing into a mentor and the lessons that I learned specifically from it. And this video did really, really well. It brought me a ton of qualified followers, and I'm gonna break it down for you.
I just invested $12,000 into a mentor who's making $224,000 a month at 20 years old. And here are the 3 pieces of advice that he's given me so far that has completely changed my perspective on business and life.
Okay, so let's stop there for a sec. There are so many things already in just these first few seconds that allowed this video to be so intentional and strategic. The first thing that you notice already is the text hook. You see the contrast between 20-year-old entrepreneur and $224,000 a month, which again is an instant shock factor. And the verbal hook is where you hear me say, I just invested $12,000, which is another instant shock factor. And it also makes people wonder, why the hell would I do that? And in the video, you see the instant payment pop-up, which shows proof that I'm being serious, because when most people hear a hook like that, they assume that I'm lying. So I'm tackling that objection within the first 2 seconds by showing concrete proof. And the fact that I get it to pop up in the first 2 seconds is also a pattern interrupt that instantly keeps and catches their attention. The format that I used in this video was black borders and a text hook, which in this video, I simply tested this format to see if it would perform. And this was the first video that actually did well before I doubled down and had the other video of me calling my mom do well as well. And this format specifically, I've been able to double down throughout my brand to get so many other videos doing well. You can scroll and see my page. I had this video hit 40,000 views with a ton of ICP followers. I had 13,000, 62,000 views, so many other results with this specific format. This video was also posted with an intentional role within my business. And this video specifically is what I would categorize it as a connecting video, which means that I'm teaching through my story and allows people to connect with me as a person by learning from my experience. Throughout the video, it sparks so many different emotions, from aspiration, controversy, inspiration, and curiosity. They get curious because they start to ask themselves, I said I invested $12,000 into this mentor, and it gets them curious as to if it was even worth investing that amount, what value would even be worth that amount, and what does this person know that we don't. If you listen closely, the background music is also building up throughout the video and gets super intense. So as you're hearing, the background music is getting
for you to
more
actually
and more
take care of yourself
intense.
and program your mind. Being healthy, being disciplined, and staying calm is what's going to allow you to have
There you go, beat drop. That's what I mean, right? Every single thing is intentional in terms of being able to spark emotions in the viewer and get them to connect with me. That's what a connecting video is about. And I'm also gonna show you another thing, and I wanna see if you notice this.
He's given me so far that has completely changed my perspective on business and life. I knew that there were levels to this, so I invested into a program that would surround myself with coaches and entrepreneurs making 6 figures a month. But here's what my one-on-one mentor actually told me.
Okay, so you may have noticed that before I actually get into the 3 lessons that I learned from my mentor, I give context as to why I made this decision and the fact that it surrounds me with these entrepreneurs to be able to scale my own business. By giving this context, it makes people stay longer because they're constantly waiting for that answer until it eventually pops up. And that increases my video retention, meaning it gets pushed out more. Now, when it comes to the actual psychology and intention that I use behind this video, this topic is something that only relates to business owners because business owners relate to investing into mentors. The average 9-to-5 worker or unqualified lead that's 14 years old playing Roblox wouldn't relate to this. The second thing is the fact that I talk about surrounding myself with entrepreneurs and coaches making 6 figures a month, and the fact that I have a mentor that's 20 years old making $224,000 a month, it associates me with successful entrepreneurs. Therefore, people want to learn from me. The fact that I also talk about how I paid $12,000 to learn 3 lessons, but I'm now giving it away for free, it gives so much benefit to my audience, and it makes them want to watch because it saves them money and time that I had to pay for. Therefore, they know that there is a clear outcome behind watching this video. It's the fact that they're able to learn $12,000 worth of knowledge for free and without actually having to put in the time to learn from these mentors. The B-rolls that I show along the way as well is super intentional because it shows authority and it shows that I'm not just someone talking nonsense, but I'm actually living a real life that's based on entrepreneurship. So you see me working, you see me with the Burj Khalifa, you'll see me eventually with the Burj Al Arab behind me, and that puts me in that environment of successful entrepreneurs. This video ended up getting 98,000 views and a ton of qualified leads. This video built up my audience with qualified leads by so much, and it was because I was so intentional with every single thing that I added into this video. Now, the third video that I'll be breaking down is this video where I talk about Shelby Sap.
When you think of Shelby Zapp, what comes to mind for you? Matcha, pink Porsche, Pilates, Miami, faith, girl boss energy, femininity, luxury but grounded. You don't even need to see her face to recognize her world, and that's what a personal brand is.
Okay, so let's stop right there. When I tell you this video got 60,000 views, but it brought me 250 or some ridiculous number like that. It brought me like 200 qualified inbounds. These were qualified leads that came straight into my DMs from this one video. And I predicted that this video was gonna work before it even did, because I knew just how much I engineered this video to be intentional with my messaging so that I could target the right ICP. The first thing that you notice again is the text hook where I expose Shelby Sap, and that's again an instant shock factor, because what exactly would I be exposing about Shelby Sap, and what would I be saying that starts making her look like a bad person? Again, controversy. Then in terms of the actual verbal hook, I said specifically, when you think of Shelby Sap, what comes to mind for you? I didn't just say that to ask a question, but I said that because it's an interactive hook and it invites them to think of something controversial about someone that they know. In terms of the actual visual hook as well, you get the instant pop-up of Shelby in the first 2 seconds, which is again a pattern interrupt. And you may have noticed once again that I used the proven black borders and text hook format that worked for the other 2 videos. So I doubled down on it and it worked again. This video got me insane results for my business, and it's also because it was an educational video that did well. I'm gonna play the rest of the video so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
To mind for you. Matcha, pink Porsche, Pilates, Miami, faith, girl boss energy, femininity, luxury but grounded. You don't even need to see her face to recognize her world, and that's what a personal brand is. These specific, tangible elements are what makes her instantly recognizable and inspirational to the exact woman and client she's speaking to. If you're an online coach building your personal brand, the way for you to stand out is to build a unique visual image of your vibe. So what are your elements? Is it gym girl and heavy weights, Pilates and wellness, elegant workspaces and high performance, faith and femininity? Pull out these specific things that make up your world, because these elements are what your ideal client is going to see herself in, and it'll make her emotionally connected to you.
Okay, super well done. Oh my god, I love this video. In terms of the actual emotions that this sparked in my audience, it builds curiosity because they get flashed with all this value that slowly builds up into an answer, and they want to get that answer out of who Shelby Sap really is. You also hear again the background noise that I doubled down on because it worked for the other video, and it builds up towards the end of the video, which makes it more intense. The way that I present this value shows that I'm not just another content creator that's telling people what Shelby does to make money, but by asking them a question in the first 2 seconds and using an interactive hook, I'm inviting them to uncover it under my guidance. And by doing that, it shows that I know what I'm talking about. It shows that I'm an expert because I show it to them and I show what Shelby Sap actually does within her brand instead of telling them. Now, in terms of why I actually picked this content idea is because I understood the psychology behind the fact that by calling out to Shelby Sap's name, I attract the kind of women who follow her. And to me, those kinds of girls are insanely qualified because these are girls who are in sales, who potentially have sales offer. Therefore, they align with my ICP. And throughout the video, you may have noticed I go from making it about Shelby Sap and her brand to making it about my ideal client and their potential to build a brand like Shelby's. That's why I go from talking about Shelby Sap to then saying, so if you're an online coach, do this, apply this the same way that Shelby did, but for your brand. And by saying it like this, it only aligns with coaches who are building their brand. In the beginning, I go from inviting everyone and every girl who knows Shelby to slowly niching down and speaking to coaches only. And as a result, this video got me 200 30 qualified inbounds straight into my DMs from the CTA at the end of this video. It redirected to my YouTube that got 900 views, but made me $17,000 because my messaging and my intention was so insanely dialed in. So if I look at these 3 videos and ask myself, what do they actually have in common? It comes down to one thing. I understand branding deeply enough that nothing I post is an accident. And I know that sounds simple, but most people skip this entirely. They go straight into content without ever sitting down and asking, who am I? Who am I for? What do I actually stand for? And what does every single piece of content I put out say about me? Because when you don't have that clarity, you're just guessing. You're picking out hooks that sound good. You're copying formats that worked for somebody else and hope that something sticks. But that'll simply lead you to attract the wrong person, and then you're stuck with an audience that you will never actually be able to monetize from because they'll never buy from you. And that's what I want you to take away from this, because branding starts with knowing yourself and your clients so deeply that every piece of content you put out and create naturally pulls her in. So I hope this video helped you out, and if you truly want to take the next step to master branding so you can scale your personal brand and your coaching business, feel free to book a call with me with the link below if you want me to look over your brand and actually help you get there. But apart from that, I'll see you in the next one.